Hey everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Simply Straight Talk. Listen, I'm gonna jump right into this one, but first let me say this. I would like for everybody to please, if you're enjoying this channel, if you're enjoying the content, natural sunlight, then go ahead and subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts and feedbacks on what you think of the shows. But listen to this. I want to jump right into this. I'm not going to rehash the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. You've seen it. You've seen the replays 1,000 times. The Oscars gave him a 10-year punishment for slapping somebody on TV. Also, I've heard numerous people, excuse me, my throat a little bit, numerous people saying, or news media outlets saying that since the police did not see it, anybody from the audience or anybody who was in attendance and observed could have made a citizen's arrest on Will Smith. So the Oscars decided they was going to give here a 10-year ban from the Oscars. That's their punishment. Let me say this. This is where I really say that it's inconsistent and there's a pattern here. I'm not going to go deep into it, but hopefully after hearing this, you will get the message of seeing that certain platforms that are operated by, certain groups, they want to show that this will never happen again, especially not by this type of person. They want to set that standard. It's a mentality that's been throughout history. You want to make an example of somebody. Here's the thing, and somebody out there saying right now, oh, this is a bunch of bull. Let me ask you something. If this had happened in a private setting, number one, I doubt if anybody would have said that somebody in the audience should have made an arrest. Number two, how many times have you watched a football game, a basketball game, or some sporting event to where somebody has hit or slapped somebody? How many times? And how many times have you heard the media cry out that somebody should have made a citizen's arrest, or other athletes start saying, oh, I was traumatized by the event. It was a disgust. You get where I'm going with this? If you're going to use this to make an example, make it across the board for media all the way around. Don't just do this to one person, because the platform is mainly operated by one specific group. So now you're determining that he has to be banned from 10 years from the Oscars. Fine. Will Smith said, you know what? I accept it. But here's what I don't accept. I don't accept the fact that the only reason this is being pushed to this level because it was on national TV. So if anything is on national TV that is a live event and a physical assault occurs, is the same principle going to be used? So if there's a basketball game on TV and a basketball player punches another person, is that person going to get banned from the NBA for 10 years? Is a football player going to get banned from the NFL for 10 years? So is that what we're doing? Because in sports, there's normally just a fine and everybody moves on. And we've seen some brawls in basketball, brawls in football. We've seen tennis players get upset and show aggression. So it's not just restricted to basketball and NFL. What about soccer? So what hockey? So is that going to be the standard, that if a person hits another person, it's a 10-year ban? You see what I'm going? I really feel like this was media pushed. And America already is a country to where once you're labeled or categorized as something, you cannot escape it. There is no second chances in this country. Once you're labeled, they stick that with you for the rest of your life. Will Smith made one mistake and they act like he went out here and shot somebody. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand it. So that's what I'm trying to ask y'all. Like, do you feel that if you're going to make an example out of him, it should be across the board for any TV program. But yet you got these reality TV shows where people are slapping and hitting each other all day. They're not being banned from reality TV. They're not being banned from TV shows. Y'all call that good entertainment, right? That's good entertainment when it happened on a reality TV show. And there's no real reciprocation because it's considered reality TV, which is simply live TV. Isn't the Oscars supposed to be basically reality? It's reality TV. It's what happens when people go to an Oscar event. So is this going to be the standard for any type of activity that takes place that is considered violent on a TV platform? Because if you're going to use Will and say Will Smith showed violence and we don't support that, then how are you going to say the same? Then shouldn't you be using that same philosophy on other TV shows, sports? Shouldn't you? Because you can't say we're going to ban you for 10 years, then turn around and watch this athlete punch another athlete and just say, oh, listen, we're going to fine you $10,000 for that, buddy, and move on. I mean, seriously, that's what I don't understand. I'm not saying he was right for what he did. And I'm not saying Chris Rock should have been a little more considerate and conscious about the joke he submitted. Just because you tell jokes don't mean you got an all-out pass to talk about anything and anybody. You don't. That's my thing. So with them saying Will Smith is going to be banned 10 years for slapping somebody on TV, what about all the other events? Is this going to be the standard? So is there now going to be stricter punishment across the board? All network, all live TV shows to really show that violence is not acceptable. Because you see it every day in reality TV show. You see it in all sporting events. And if somebody feels like it's a difference, please tell me. Please tell me if you think there is a difference between somebody hitting somebody on a stage versus hitting somebody during a live game on national TV. What's the difference? Tell me the difference, please. What's the difference? Because you got to have one clear, concise message that you're sending. It's not right to use one person and make them the poster child, like I said, because that platform is operated and maintained by one specific group. But then the other platforms are like, oh, it's the culture. No. If you're going to send that message that violence is not tolerated, that's not the way to do it. You got to do it across the board. So what's the answer? What is the answer? And that has been my whole issue with this. If Chris Rock did not want to press charges, and if you want to say fine, first of all, I do think 10 years is too long. 10 years is too long. I would have said, you know what? For the next 3 years, you can't be a part of the Oscars or Academy, or you can't be nominated for the next 3 years, no matter what projects you do. That's it. But this is why I call bullshit on this whole thing, this whole punishment thing they're trying to put out there. Because of the way they're doing it, you're sending an inconsistent message. I don't condone violence. I think you should be able to talk things out. I think you should be able to sit down, rationalize with somebody. And if you can't do it at the moment, do it at another time. I agree with that. And I agree that if you speak words to somebody that could be harmful, that you may have to face consequences. That you have to know what you can say that will be acceptable to somebody or offensive, and what you shouldn't say. And the bottom line is, you have to have respect and consideration for the time to address issues with somebody. But then again, you have to be mindful of the comments that come out your mouth. I just want to know, since the Oscars is doing all this, where is the consistent line going to fall? Because you can't just relegate this to the Oscars, because the Oscars is saying, well, you know, this happened, you know, what if it would have happened backstage and not during the actual monologue with Chris Rock? What if it would have happened backstage and nobody saw it? Would this still be a thing, or would they just say, yeah, Chris Rock and Will Smith got into an altercation, but they're going to deal with that because it was off stage. But since it was on stage, they feel like we got to do something. So would they have handled this the same way? That's my point. But if you're going to do this, then you got to do it across the board to all live events, and you cannot simply, you know, just relegate this to right now or just the Oscars. But that's fine. Like I said, I think 10 years is too long. I think Chris Rock and Will should have talked it out. I would have loved to seen them come together at some point after they've had a private conversation, come together at some point and just say, listen, you know, we had a talk. We're not going to discuss what we talked about, but ultimately we want you guys to know that both of us could have did, or, you know, as comedians, there are things that I need to be conscious of. And Will Smith, you know, as a man, as an actor, you know, as a role model, you know, we both have to be mindful of our actions and behaviors. Shake hands, go their separate ways. You know what I'm saying? Show people, especially our younger black people, that we can have a disagreement and we can come together. That's what I have liked to see from them too. That would have been a huge message to our younger generation. Instead of the message going right now, throw your own on the fire and let them burn them. I just feel like it could have been handled. I know it could have been handled different, but I'm just saying, I am an anti-violent person. I do not believe in violence. I do not believe in hurting or harming anybody. But one thing I do believe in is fairness. I do believe in, you know, equality, treating people equally and fairly. And I think that's the issue that I'm having right now, because I feel like Will Smith is going through a lot more because they want to make him the poster child. And I've been in the position to where somebody wanted to make me the poster child. And I know it is not a good feeling. It's a feeling of being alone. It's a feeling of being abandoned, because people who you thought were your friends turn on you. People talk about you because they're trying to save face. So that's what I'm seeing right now. You know, so my thing about it is, if you're going to say that was wrong, then you need to say it's wrong for the NBA. You need to say it's wrong for others, you know, for any live event. Any live event. That includes sporting and reality TV shows. If you're going to say that violence is not acceptable, make it across the board. That's all I got to say.
It's your choice, all right here. Oh, simply straight, all.